How's it going, everybody? My name is Rinzler here, back again for another video, and welcome back to my Tim Burton movie series. And today we're going to be finally deviating away from the superhero stuff, and we're going to be talking about Tim Burton's first ever feature film, his first directed feature film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Now, this movie was the first film adaptation of the extremely popular Pee-wee's Playhouse TV series. And in my opinion, it's better than the kids show because I grew up with the kids show and this movie. And in my opinion, it's also better than its sequels like Big Top Pee Wee. Like screw Big Top Pee Wee, that movie sucked. But anyway, so today, because I'm already talking about Tim Burton stuff and I've been binging all of his movies, I decided I was going to talk about his first and a movie I grew up with, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and why I think it's such a great movie because it's actually not for the reason you would expect. But before I get into this video, I want to let you guys know that I'm not going to be doing this in a way like I did with Batman. Like, I'm not going to be picking apart several scenes. I'm not going to be talking about a bunch of characters. I'm not planning on talking about the music or anything like that. It's Danny Elfman and Tim Burton. You guys know the music in this movie is going to be good. But and you know that this movie is funny if you've seen it before. If you haven't seen this movie before, then go watch it because I'm not going to be picking apart individual scenes because honestly, this movie is kind of hard to talk about. I don't want to spoil the comedic moments for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. So I'm not going to be picking apart scenes. I'm just going to be talking about the character development, which is why I think this movie is so great. So without further ado, why is Pee-wee's Big Adventure so great? I just told you why, but keep watching. I promise it gets better. Now, it may surprise some people that a movie called Pee-wee's Big Adventure has a deeper meaning to it. It's an over-the-top movie about an over-the-top character going on an over-the-top journey to find his over-the-top bicycle. But yes, there is more than meets the eye with the movie. At the beginning of the movie, Pee-wee is, for lack of a better word, a narcissist. A subtle narcissist, but a narcissist nonetheless. He's a special snowflake who believes that he's a very important person who everyone else needs to care about, constantly. When his bike gets stolen, he expects the police to treat the crime like it's a level 1 emergency. He tells them to set up a dragnet and comb the entire area for his bike, and is somehow shocked when the police tell him that they can't do that. Later on, when he holds a pointless meeting about his bike, he expects everyone to stay and listen to him rant on and on for 3+ hours before letting anybody else even get a word in. He believes that his bike and nobody else is important. His friends are clearly good ones if they sit and listen to him for 3 hours, but he doesn't appreciate them. He only ever focuses on his damn bike. When Dottie asks him out to the drive-in, he rolls his eyes at her. He basically tells her that he's too extreme for her, that he's a loner. He's basically saying that he's too good for her. Dottie lets him drag her everywhere looking for his bike and sits through his meeting and even offers to get him a brand new bike. He then tells her that he doesn't need her, the police, or anyone else to help him find his bike. Pee-wee obsesses over his missing bike and ignores everyone else in his life. He makes wild accusations about the Soviet Union somehow being involved in his bike's disappearance. Then, when he correctly assumes that Francis stole his bike, he doesn't even bother telling the cops his suspicions. He just goes over there, breaks in, and fights Francis. He commits worse crimes to make up for a crime. So yeah, to say the least, Pee-wee is a bit of a selfish asshole in the beginning portion of this movie who only cares about himself and his bike. But his adventure changes him for the better. While Pee-wee's trying to find his bike, he meets a lot of different people, and while talking to Simone about her dreams of going to Paris, he grows as a character by encouraging her to pursue those dreams, which she later does and ends up in a much, much more healthy relationship because of it. Then when he doesn't find his bike at the Alamo, he doesn't wig out. He doesn't make any wild assumptions or get angry at anybody. In fact, he simply just calls Dottie on the phone and apologizes to her, and makes plans to just come back home. Seeing as how damn rude Pee-wee was to her earlier in the movie, seeing this mature moment where he humbles himself and apologizes, it's a very much needed scene and helps Pee-wee redeem himself as a character. When Pee-wee does finally find his bike, he admits the way that he got his bike back by destroying much of Warner Brothers Studios was wrong and seems ready to face the consequences of his actions. So when Dottie shows up with his bike and he's offered a movie deal by the studio, it feels like he's finally earned his happy ending. At the end, when Pee Wee finally goes to the drive in with Dottie and makes stops to see everyone who's helped him in the movie, it feels like Pee Wee is finally appreciating all of his friends. And when he and Dottie ride off together on their bikes, it feels like he's earned his happy ending because he's grown so much as a character and learned to be more humble and appreciative instead of whiny and narcissistic as he was before. It's for this reason why I like this movie so much and had a blast watching his big adventure play out. So, yeah, I mean, as I mentioned before, this movie is absolutely hilarious. Like, if you haven't seen Pee Wee's Big Adventure yet, you should go watch it because I can't put into words how funny this movie is. It's very, very different compared to all of Tim Burton's other works. It has some of the creepiness to it, like when he has the nightmare about the clowns destroying his bike with the devil and the dinosaur or whatever, but it feels justified considering how much he's obsessed over his bike. It makes sense he would have nightmares about his bike as well. So there are darker elements to this movie, but it sticks to its campy tone, which really works considering how campy the main character is and the setting it takes place in. In my opinion, this was a great starting point for Tim Burton's amazing film career, and this would be the first of many, many movies that he and Danny Elfman would help bring to life. And honestly, it's even though it's not even in my top three favorite Tim Burton movies, my top three, of course, being Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, and Beetlejuice, Pee Wee's Big Adventure is still one of my favorite movies. It's probably my favorite road trip movie. And when one of Tim Burton's movies is excellent and it doesn't even make my top three, then you know that Tim Burton has a wide variety of amazing films to choose from. And I will be talking more about Tim Burton's work in the future. So thank you guys for watching this video about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Share this video with all of your friends on all of your various social media platforms. Ring that notification bell and let me know in the comments down below if you liked this video and why, or if you didn't like it and what I could do better. And I will see all you dudes and chicks in the next video.